What is up, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of the CuzNCiseal Show. I'm your host, CuzNCiseal, aka Mike Fowler, coming at you again with some more goodies of the nerd kingdom. Like, we're going to spoil WandaVision. We're also going to do our usual gaming news. And I also will get you out of here probably as soon as I can, because ain't nobody your fault. But no, I've just been having some car trouble, so I've been in and out trying to put a starter on a car with not with the proper equipment. And hopefully on the day of this recording on Monday, maybe I'll get the right tools in. Long story short, I need like an impact drill with a swivel socket for these there's only two fucking bolts that hold a starter. And I'm having really hard trouble because also my arm can fit through the cubby hole little spot behind the wheel. But also it's some bullshit hard work. But yeah, other than that, I hope you guys' week's been good. How was everything going on in your life? Hopefully everything has been positive. Hopefully you've been having a good week. While we were walking through, there's still the beginning of 2021. But yeah. Honestly, also, this is going to be a little different from other episodes. I'm probably not going to do what I've been playing this week just because it's just been Fortnite. I've just been really taking my time because also for we'll start off like that. I've been playing Fortnite, and it's also because A, it's been pretty fun, but B, for like this news we missed, Fortnite revealed their secret character skin, and it's going to be the Predator. This last week we had 3 little missions to get two those like little emotes. Like the ones that the Fortnite person like pops up and like a little sticker comes out of thin air. So 2 of them were, one of them was a sticker. One of them was your little logo banner. So I have like the alien's helmet as my little logo, and like a spray paint decal that when you go next to a wall, you can spray paint that Predator's face. So looking promising, because also this either Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever the refresh is, there's going to be some real missions to get the Predator skin. But yeah, I've been really enjoying Fortnite this season. Also, I think it's because I've obviously been being able to play duos and squads and just have a good time. I do wish that I did do better in the sense of wish I was playing this back when my stepson was in it. Now he's not into it, so I feel like I missed an opportunity moment for that, but yeah, more news this week. Apparently the Killzone website was killed, so Viking funerals to the Killzone franchise, to our knowledge. That's probably one of my favorite first-person shooter franchises. I have the Killzone 3 Collector's Edition still, so I have that Hellgast head, so that's really cool. But yeah, also some more news in the sense of EA lost the exclusive rights to Star Wars. Because they also, I think it goes into Lucasfilms has now kind of recreated a Lucas not Game Studios, but like a umbrella for, so like there'll be like a new trademark, watermark, or whatever you want to call it, for when they make Jedi Fallen Order 2 through EA. They didn't lose like that idea, but the idea that they don't have like they're not the only studio. Which, that being said, that means there's been also an announcement that Ubisoft is already working on a Star Wars game with their massive studio. So we'll see how that goes. I am a person, I think I'm being a little optimistic in the negative way. I mean, that's cool. Great. We're going to have a Star Wars game that's going to have the Far Cry or Ubisoft formula. I mean, like, how many different little towers are going to have to touch to unlock maps? I hope I'm wrong. I'm saying it negative so that it will go into the ether and alter, because that's how the ether works with me. If I say something, it'll probably go the opposite way. Also, real quick, just so I can remember, Bungie is also closing their Halo archives of their end of having anything to do with Halo. But with the Star Wars, another thing that involves with Lucasfilm Games is Lucasfilm Games also technically has the rights to like a game like Indiana Jones, which then comes to find out later this week. We found out that Bethesda is working on an Indiana Jones game with, turns out it's going to be Machine Gun Studios, and with Todd Howard actually like kind of watching over Machine Games. I think I've been reading about how they feel with the Indiana Jones license, and the rumor. Well, people are pitching it in the sense of, is this going to be exclusive to Xbox? And I'm already on the bandwagon. I hope so, because hear me out. Honestly, Indiana Jones sounds as much as exciting as fucking getting pegged. Not trying to say it mean. It's just the idea of Indiana Jones itself in a game sense is going to be hit or miss. It's probably going to be great. I'm not going to say knock it like that, but the idea of I don't have any recollection of what has Machine Gun has done with a third-person action adventure, because I'm assuming that's how it's going to go. We're going to have the trope of Indy is scared of snakes, so what's new? And judging by if Tomb Raider couldn't spark anything to go against Uncharted, because that's how the Xbox podcasts, like some of the ones I saw are like, is like this like going to be like a answer for Xbox for to go against Uncharted, and I hopefully also maybe I'm in the small minority of this. I wouldn't promote it like that, or I wouldn't ask any of my Xbox podcast teams to go, please don't compare it to Uncharted. This is going to be its own thing. We're going to have a good time. Bing, bang, boom. But also at the same, because that's where I get to. I'm like, it can be okay. And there's no date on this. We just know that Bethesda Studios got it, so that's obviously means Xbox has a third-person action adventure game coming down the pipe. I just don't see even Indiana Jones being a seller, even if Tomb Raider can't. Uncharted is on a whole nother level with storytelling and the idea of course, you can try to make indie interesting, but when you have compared to like a Nathan Drake, which is, it's more sad that clearly Nathan Drake is like an indie revised. I just don't think the original person can cut it anymore, just because of like we only have they're going to take it off of. But I do have faith in Machine Games, but we'll see. But then also coming up on the 21st of this month, Resident Evil is going to have a special presentation, and they're going to talk about Resident Evil 8, but through the grapevines, they're saying that they might be revealing, or at least revealing some of the possible leaked games that came out a couple months back. We discussed. So people are seeing if they're going to talk about Resident Evil 4 remake or even Resident Evil Outbreak remade. We had to tune in on the 21st to find that out. I can't remember what time it is, but I'm excited. People are going Jones in for they just gave a new avatar for PlayStation, so that's the way I learned about it. But there's like this new vampiric, they call it, like a vampire girl in Resident Evil 8, and just a super tall woman with some big old knockers, and people are going crazy of it on the internet, but whatever. Also, for more games in the future, Square Enix has trademarked Ever Crisis and the First Soldier in Japan. And also I saw that they also trademarked the Shinra logo again. So there might be some more games coming into the same Final Fantasy VII Remakes universe, since they, spoilers, they altered a little bit of the game's timeline from the original game. That's why it's a good time to play it. So if we get a Crisis Core game, that'd be sweet. As a person who didn't get to play Crisis Core on PSP, looking forward to that. But yeah, I mean, for game wise, that's about it. I did though want to say before we get into the WandaVision was I got to read the Justice League's Future State issue 1 this week, and I want to say I think it's really good. And I know I probably sound like a favoritizer since DC's my favorite, but I'm saying it seems pretty good. I do have issues only because I do not like when they reveal a bad guy I don't know about. So that's on me. That's also because I like, how would I word it? I think it goes in a little bit of the WandaVision. I like knowing who the bad guy is and see, but I digress in the sense of it is still pretty good. I like also, just so you guys know, the person who's writing the Future State Justice League story is Josh Williamson. So he's been the guy who's been running Flash since Rebirth. And I have to say, it's pretty good in the sense of, I like how they lay it out. Like, they showed that this team has worked together for a while, because they showed like a scene that they fought a dark side with Starfish that was mind controlling him, which was really cool to see. They said they've been there for crisis after crisis. They also, it looks like even they work together even on like a Batman situation, because this team, I forgot, excuse me, this Future State team is very interesting. It is John Kent, so this is Superman's son. It has Aqua Woman, which is the daughter of Aquaman and Mera. The Batman, who is Jim Ridley's Batman. So it's the black Batman, who's Tim Fox, which is they don't. And then they also have the Green Lantern. I can't remember her name, but it's the one who's from the comic series Far Sector. And it obviously has the new Wonder Woman, which is that South American girl named Mara Yorel. And then one of the cooler ones is also they have this new Flash, and they are non-binary. And the cool part is this team has decided that they want to, they do not reveal each other's identities to each other as far as they can go. Obviously, they know John Kent is John Kent, or at least yeah. And also, this is where I see how I can feel about it. Future State, I wish could be like a right off the get-go, here's a new team, bing, bang, boom. But apparently, comic book readers don't like Origins, I guess, or anymore. But the idea of, it's kind of, it goes right into this team, and it involves, you see like their version of Legion of Doom, which is a very different team compared. There's this guy who kind of looks like Lex Luthor, but he's also part robotic. Like he has like that mechanical spider bottom, and it looks like it's an older version of Brainiac, but it doesn't say his name offhand for me to say, oh, yep, that's him. But the guy who looks like a old crumbly, like if Supreme Leader Snoke and Lex Luthor had a baby. This guy's name's T.O. Morrow. And then, but the other teammates of the Legion of Doom, which is interesting, is this one named Despera, which is supposed to be Wonder Woman's bad like villain because she has the lasso of existential terror. and then this person named Amazex, Cobalt Blue, and one of them would be interesting, which I'd like to hear an actual story arc. There's this one called the Screech Owl. So it looks like the Court of Owl's talon, but it has venom injected in him, so he's as big as Bane, like from back in the day. So that looks really cool. And then obviously the Flood, which will be an Aquaman arch nemesis. And then Ultraviolet Lantern. So they did a little bit of Ultraviolet during the Scott Snyder's Justice League run. So we kind of know what that's from. And then Cobalt Blue looks like, because it involves, he's the Flash villain, kind of looks like he's using a ice saber. So they are pretty cool new ideas of their team. So it makes it look interesting. I actually like what they thought of doing. But back to the Justice League themselves. The story goes with, there was a murder, and it finds out that whole team we just talked about was dead or died. And what makes it cool is seeing also teammates that you thought are supposed to be the person, like the detective. Everyone time before this everyone knew Batman was going to be the guy initiating the investigation. Being made boom. This time it's Far Sector, which is the Green Lantern. And it's very interesting to see them all different. And clearly, because like I said, the storyline is about them not revealing each other's identities behind their backs. Some of them are working together. So the John Kent's already hangs out with Wonder Woman outside the league. So that's a little faux pas. You find out Aquawoman hangs out with the Flash, where and then they don't reveal, they don't know. That's the only one out of this Justice League team I have no reference of. The Flash in this, they are very brand new, and I'm really interested to know what their origin is from. But then to find out it's a fluke, and it's a brand new villain squad that came out of some left blue field that they were locked up before. And hold on one second. This villain team that is revealed to killed their villains, the Legion of Doom, is called the Hyper Clan, and they're able to shapeshift, and that's how they kind of got the jump on each of the Justice League, because they also don't they did the perfect thing. So obviously we grew up with Justice League knowing that they knew everybody's identity. They're all almost like family. And then this is going to be this team's first time seeing that maybe we should know each other's identity because of XYZ, this what happened. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of a simple ABC type of storyline where at the end of the day, in my vision, this could end up just showing that we got to reveal each other to ourselves and who are we, each other. Because that's how they got caught. They got the jump on each other because each person of the Hyper Clan can shapeshift to whatever superhero they're trying to be. So at the end of this storyline, to be continued, they're all shapeshifting to look like the most current Justice League. And they're going to, it says, come on, let's save the world, blah, blah, blah. As a, not a joke, but as, to be continued. So we got to wait till next month for that answer. But then this is a kind of a more deluxe comic. It's only $6, but it also comes with a story for our Justice League Dark, which is the Magic team with Zatanna, usually John Constantine, Dr. Fate, and all that shit. And then Bobo the Monkey. And then what I just wanted to bring it up to the podcast is kudos to the writer for this one. His name's Ram, R-A-M. And he or she, because I don't know which one it is. They did a really good story because it involves it's the future. So it's the idea that Merlin comes back and basically kind of decimates magic there's no more magic people, blah, blah, blah. But of course there is. It involves Zatanna and Bobo looking for just any help, just anything. And if you guys know DC, there's also that demon, that yellow demon. I don't know how to say his name, Etrigan or something, who talks in rhymes and all that shit. Bobo apparently is possessed by him. But then long story short, they find these clues that end up them falling into the pawn store of the Ragged Man, which is another DC person. I think the Ragman was in Arrow. Yep, Ragman's in Arrow. So the team that Justice League Dark is going to have for in the future is a pretty good team, because it's obviously the first time I'm trying to reveal it. It's going to be Zatanna, Bobo, the Ragman, and then they ended up with the Ragman. They found John Constantine again, and long story short, John Constantine has been in this like little bubble of protection, and there's been this old man, because they've been following. Oh yeah, there was another person. Well, there's another witch. I can't remember her name, but she does like with tarot cards, and she's also has some connections with Wonder Woman. But they were said to stay put and protect this old man, this blind man. And then, long story short, find out that the it's all meant for a reason. And then the old blind man was Dr. Fate, and he had to hide his identity until they had the team together. And then it was only continued. That's why some of these future state stories have been very short. They sound enjoyable, but I love a long story. So I'm hoping that they get enough information out for the next issue, because I really hope, because there's no light for Justice League Dark for a single issue yet, to my knowledge. So we'll see. But I just wanted to say kudos to Ram. And obviously Josh Williamson always does good. But I was really impressed with that Ram part of the story. But yeah, all right. Let me catch my breath, and we're going to get into that WandaVision. All right. Now, what can I start off with, just so everyone knows? There's all going to be full spoilers. I'm not going to try to tiptoe, because I'm tired of trying to keep my tongue tied and trying to protect the innocent for not watching it. Because I'm also spoiling it, because apparently there's been a very mixed bag of emotions on people, their feelings on these first 2 episodes of WandaVision. And I want to first off say I am shocked too, in the sense of runtime. These are 2 30-minute long episodes, and I'll take that back, because one of them's 30 minutes, but there's 7 minutes of fucking credits. So it's really weird. But okay, where is WandaVision at? WandaVision involves, we all have to assume, because we do not know yet. There's nothing, because the idea of WandaVision is, which some people are acting surprised they don't know, but this could either be the Scarlet Witch is in prison, and somebody is making her live in this weird suburban thing with Vision, or the more logical way is that Scarlet Witch is so upset because Vision, she came back from the snap, and Vision technically didn't come back yet, to our knowledge, because obviously that's where we're left off. She makes her own alternate, like, little world bubble of the suburban area with Vision. Because you have to only also go by episode 1. There was jokes like, oh, there's my husband with his indestructible head. Because the first 2 episodes are in black and white, and they act like they're from the 1950, 1960 shows. Like the first episode, I'm going to say like that. The first episode feels more like I Love Lucy, and the second episode feels more like a I Dream of Jeannie Bewitched, with it has the same classic camera angles, but you have to admit, if anybody was watching, because I could be misspoken too, but the second episode has more of a looser camera, like more closer to like you know how Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie had more of those like just different angles compared to like an I Love Lucy live studio audience style episode. But sticking to the first episode, to our knowledge, we know it might be 2023 because of the calendar, but we're not 100% sure. That could be different. That could be totally bullshit. But the idea of there are some consistencies that are happening in this world. Besides black and white, their neighbor Agnes, which is Catherine Hahn's character, and it's already been rumored because they didn't say her real name yet, but people are thinking Agnes is Agatha, one of Scarlet Witch's, like, I don't want to say advisors, but somebody she used to look up to, like in her story or comic book world. Like this Agatha starts with an H. But people thinking her character is Agatha. But the idea is, of course, I might be spoiling shit that's in the real season or the rest of the season, but like there are just some things that are showing that it goes into probably more of the Scarlet Witch is having a meltdown and creating this bubble, because there are moments when like the radio is going, this is episode 2, I'm excusing on that part, but like you hear the radio start calling out, Wanda, are you there? Well, who did this to you? Wanda. And it's the voice of Jimmy Choo. He's from Fresh Off the Boat, and he's going to be one of the characters of the Agents of S.W.O.R.D. S.W.O.R.D. is basically the space division of S.H.I.E.L.D. So anything involving intergalactic shit, S.W.O.R.D. takes care of it over S.H.I.E.L.D. But it's a way to also introduce S.W.O.R.D. because they're probably going to be involved with Eternals, the movie that's going to be next in this little plethora I'm going to try to explain. But there's also another consistent character of, I don't want to say the wrong one. I think it's Maria Rambeau, which is the little girl from Captain Marvel, all grown up because, spoilers, her character becomes another Captain Marvel, but she's either going to be named Photon or her more current name Spectrum. But she's going to get powers. But she works for S.W.O.R.D. It looks like it through the trailers. So at this moment in time, you might be Jimmy Choo's or Cho partner. But the idea is also to help boost my thoughts on it. Wanda is controlling it all. Is at the first episode, they have the dinner date at their house with Mr. Hart. In the story, it's Vision's boss. And there's a part when Mr. Hart chokes. And a part of it involves Mrs. Hart's kind of like doing like a weird like a on a track course of repeating her own, like, stop it, Hart, stop it, stop, because he's choking. And that's when the camera breaks the idea that they're on a 1950 live studio audience show, and it stays on the table, and it zooms in on Wanda, back to Vision, through the whole scene narration, but it gives that eerie feeling. And it involves then Wanda going, Vision, help him. And then that's the moment in time Vision got up and started helping Mr. Hart. So it goes into the idea of clearly Scarlet Witch is controlling this. No one's really, who did this to you, Wanda, like they're trying to say. But also, they could, this is me, my opinion of how I'm going through the rest of the season. Then the second episode happens, and the one eerie thing that happens after that is at the end of it, they go outside and they see this beekeeper come from the sewer. And he looks at Wanda and it gets that weird eerie feeling, and she just goes, nope. And then the world reverses. Just because she said nope. They went back into the house without having to go outside and see that situation with the beekeeper. And then in the second episode is where you get these subtle views of red. One is there was this helicopter toy with the S.W.O.R.D. logo on it, but it was nice, vibrant red in this black and white world. And then also in the part when she just met this new person named Dixie. She got cut at this little lunch party. And but yeah, I'm I'm interested to see how these connect because there are some things to my idea of why are these other quote unquote magical power people like Agatha, why are they in Wanda's world if Wanda's the only one controlling it? So that's the part that gets me a little confused, not confused, but like keeps me want to go and see how they actually critique how my thoughts are. In episode 2 also, a very interesting thing is they do a different opening scene or credits, and that they had an Easter egg inside in between the floor because there's a part when Vision comes from the shower down all dressed, kind of like I Dream of Jeannie. But in the rafters of like in between floors, there was a helmet of the Marvel villain called the Grim Reaper. And then I also saw an interview with the director with the Nerdist, and they asked him because there were some scenes that involved, they might be hinting at, there's this Wonder Man, which is another Marvel character, and he said no comment. And I think Grim Reaper is Wonder Man's brother, but that's a whole nother fucking thing. Until I get more information that they're actually in the show. But my personal opinion of these first 2 episodes is they're a little weak. And everybody says it, but I'm on the pledge of saying it's okay. They weren't good, or they were good, not great. They were okay, maybe good. It gets you that feeling of, oh good, we're going into the gears are turning, we're getting into Marvel Phase 4 and everything, but I'm also trying to be optimistic. I don't know what would be, like, do we count S.H.I.E.L.D. as Marvel's way of getting into TV? Or do we count the Netflix ones when they didn't have real quote-unquote control? I'm trying to give them the bone here of, like, does Marvel Studios know how to do a TV show? And the weirder part is WandaVision only 9 episodes. So we already did 2 down, 7 more to go. But the idea of, it's interesting, there's some also other fan theories. If people use like the radio station that was played on episode 2, if you go to those numbers, that number is when, like, there's a whole nice little comic book storyline involving Doctor Strange and all this shit. A lot of things that are falling into stage 4 can go with this storyline, but I don't think it's going to happen. It'd be cool if it does, but I'd be very shocked. But I'm just more surprised. I saw a lot of people were complaining about the black and white 50 stuff. It's all over because at the end of this second episode, you watch the world start turning color, Technicolor, and also Wanda is pregnant. And if you know anything about the future of her life, she's going to have twins, which they've already showed twins. And they're going to be William and Thomas. Long story short, they're going to be Wiccan and Speed as their superheroes. So this is a way with this Hawkeye's TV show with the Haley girl. They're basically setting up the Young Avengers in more ways than none. There have also been rumors because Young Avengers will be like obviously the younger Hawkeye girl. These twin boys, maybe Hulkling might be come out of nowhere since Wiccan and Hulkling are a couple. But there's still more to come. It's going to come out every Friday, and I'm just more optimistic. I think I'm more shocked. I'm more cool as a cucumber compared to some. I just didn't think it was that bad, but I just didn't think it was great. But I was just like, it was enjoyable. I also like the idea of I want to start watching when it starts crumbling because there's so many different Easter eggs that people are going, ooh, like if anybody I should take a step back. What are some comics that this could be relatable to? Apparently, Tom King's The Vision, for how like Tom King's Vision storyline had Vision kind of being in a suburban house with a family. Now with Scarlet Witch, but this is more current run stuff. But this is going to be kind of like House of M, involving Scarlet Witch. House of M involves, I think Vision died. She gets so upset she alters the universe and basically makes all mutants go away except a certain few, and involves like an empire of her family in the comic. This ain't happening in the show, but in the comic, her family's like a king and queen shit. It involves people going into Wanda's story or vision or Wanda's dream and fixing it. So also with the house, because also I say that because you see an Easter egg in episode 1 with the heart dinner. The wine that they're drinking is called like the House of Monet or something. Or something basically the French word for concept, which is obviously like the idea of, making this shit up. So I would just say, anybody who didn't like the first episode or didn't finish it, I would buck up. It's only 22 minutes and push through it. It's not that bad. But also at the same time, I can see, if you really wanted to, you could probably skip to the episode 3 and just watch those previously on WandaVision. Because you probably could skip them. I can't blame you there either. But I like it. I'm not going to say it's the best. But also, I'm in the weird department. Marvel has not, I have no qualms or nothing thinking Marvel's going to shit the bed on this. I think it's just, you got to wait and see. I don't think it's going to be a flop. I don't think it's going to be worse than, and this is me just saying things that the people say. This ain't going to be worse than Iron Man 2. This ain't going to be worse than Iron Man 3. It's going to be probably in the middle in the run of Marvel movies. But we have to wait and see how it goes. It could get better. But yeah, it looks like we're going into maybe, again, I'm just spitballing the era, but it looks like we might be going into like a 70s TV show for this next episode. We'll wait and see. And hopefully, also, I forgot to say, the first episode also ended on that weird cliffhanger of like, it shows that somebody can watch Wanda's show on a TV, and the person's taking notes, and it had the Sword logo, so Sword's watching it. But then obviously it just means that they can, from the outside of the bubble that Wanda's making, she can make like a radio wave of it, and people are just picking up and able to watch it. So just so people didn't think I missed out on that spot either. I think I said I'd give it a 3 out of 5. The first 2 episodes, 3 out of 5. But yeah, that was basically it for this week. This week's hot picks are music is brand new from Skippa da Flippa and Murda Baby. And then for movies, I would recommend everybody to check out on Amazon Prime One Night in Miami. It is it's getting a lot of reviews and great reviews, like 10 out of 10s, and I think it has a 98% on Rotten Tomato. It is Regina King's first director spot, and it involves one night in Miami in 1964 when Muhammad Ali, on 64 he was Cassius Clay, Jim Brown from the Cleveland Browns, and then Sam Cooke, and met with Malcolm X in a hotel room after Muhammad Ali won the championship, and right before he converts his name to Islam, but how he says it, Muslim. But you should check it out. It was very captivating. It's one of those ones that involves how would I word it? Clearly, it's a dialogue. I think it was based off a play, a screenwrite in a sense. That it's just, them spewing facts towards the camera in the sense, without tooting her own horn as much as she should deserve. But the idea of, she played it out better it felt like a movie. Maybe because of she didn't try to keep it look like a one-shot idea or some shit. Like some people who like to film these type of play-like scripts. One part that caught right off the get-go. You start catching them. I thought it was gonna be some weird way because, like, I don't want to spoil it, but you meet Cassius Clay. You also meet Sam Cooke, but then you meet Jim Brown for the first time, and his little introductory was probably the one that catches you off guard the most for how it was the most like magician, like look at my hand and then Pam get you on with the second hand. But it also, after you see it, is not surprising because of the times. Still 1964. Obviously, because Malcolm X is alive in this, it's in the heat of the moment of his views are out there. He's trying to cast out to the world and understand and everything. And it's very good. All four of them are friends in the show, but the idea that they have to deal with, not deal, but like, you know, they're friends with this pariah of Malcolm, and then the idea that he's there to also bump to show that they're not doing anything for the cause. It's very good. I would suggest everybody to watch it. It's really good. It's also, how did I word it? It's one of those ones that it has some heavy thoughts about what shit's going on now, even nowadays, but it's not so heavy that you feel crushed on it. It's so much that it feels like you get the motions of what you should be learning in it without feeling overwhelmed about it, which is why I like it the most. But yeah, it's called One Night in Miami, and it's free on Amazon Prime if you have Amazon Prime. And for comics, I got 3 of them. One of them is Iron Fist, Heart of the Dragon, I think I just read it, issue 1. Wonder Woman, the Immortal Wonder Woman, number 1. It's the Future State one involving the actual Diana Wonder Woman to read. And then one that caught my eye that I just saw was this Marvel Origins issue 1, but it's from IDW. So IDW has some comics of Marvel coming out, which that's what caught my eye about it, from IDW. But yeah, that'll be it this week. Everyone, please follow me on Twitter at MikeFowler93. Give me a tweet. Tell me, even if you have questions, I might not post about if I need questions, but I gladly will answer them on the podcast, also on Twitter. But yeah, and then follow me on twitch.tv/CuzNCiseal, CuzNCiseal. And then, yeah, and honestly, I want to tell you something. February 27th, apparently in the state of Michigan, I could go to this comic shop about an hour away and meet the Green Ranger, Tommy. He is doing some signings, and I'm very interested in possibly going. It's February 27th. Nothing set in stone. I just hit these thoughts. But yeah, if you live in Michigan, apparently in Plymouth, at the State of Comics there, they're going to have a sign-in with him, with the Green Ranger. And they have a bunch of exclusive comics right now over there of, different issues, and they have a really sweet variant of Lord Drakon, which is his newest, or his character in older generations. But yeah, until next time, you guys be good to each other. And if there's no episode next week, that's because I killed myself from this stupid starter shit. But yeah, you guys take care. Be good to each other again. And peace.